A Whiteside County school district is warning parents about a re-emerging online trend. It is a story that Local 4 News is continuing to follow. In a letter yesterday, the superintendent of Morrison Community School District said they've seen an increase of students who have seen and are talking about the Momo challenge. Local 4 News first looked at this issue last summer, but the image of a woman with bulging eyes has since reappeared on video games and videos on YouTube Kids. Local 4 Sean Locking joins us in our studio with how the superintendent hopes this will help parents. Sean?
Tiffany, when I was researching this challenge, child protection experts say there's no confirmed evidence the Momo challenge has led to any suicides. Law enforcement and internet safety advocates also call it a hoax. But for the superintendent of Morrison, putting out the word goes beyond running the school. He's looking at this as a parent with 3 kids in the district.
As a parent, it's terrifying. As a superintendent or as an administrator, it's just slightly less terrifying.
Until a few days ago, Morrison Superintendent Scott Vance says he didn't know the message of this scary face or its words.
My wife sent me a Facebook message, and there were a number of community parents that were discussing it.
He says it also became quickly apparent it was in the schools.
One of my elementary principals mentioned that the 5th grade was a hot topic of discussion. And
with a child in that grade himself, it prompted a look, and Vance says part of the concern is the communication this so-called challenge contains.
Youth suicide is on the rise. We're seeing more of that, and we're seeing more of it being discussed. So anytime you see something like a social media challenge or a social media game that, if not promoting it, at least discussing it, we want our parents to be aware of it.
That's the reason he decided to send out a notice to families on Wednesday.
It is something that has been around from my research for a while, but it's now making its way to Morrison.
Vance tells me his goal of sending out this letter isn't to scare parents, but to make them aware what students are discussing in the schools and to give them the information and resources to then have a conversation with their kids.
Inform them of what's out there and allow them to parent their kids.
Vance adds the conversation of staying safe online is one he and his wife have had with their 3 kids just this week because of the unknowns of where this can appear.
In the same room with your child, watching them play Fortnite or Roblox or one of those games and think everything's fine, and actually looking at the screen and you walk away for 5 seconds and all of a sudden this thing pops up.
Vance tells me one thing his family is looking at is keeping their kids off of YouTube for the time being. He says what makes this hard to control is most of the times kids find this all on their own. In the studio, Sean Logging, Local 4 News.